On this pleasant morning, we welcome you all to the very first episode of Civilspedia's daily current affairs analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy for the month of October. And I also want to start off this day with the quote of Nelson Mandela, that is, it is always seems impossible until it is done. And I also want to take a small moment to remind you of the subscription to the Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed it, please subscribe to the channel. Your love and support to the channel through subscription means a lot to us. And a small reminder from the Shankar IAS Academy that the pre-storming UPSC Prelims Test Series for the Batch 2 will be starting around from 16th October 2025, and it is a weekend batch and it is also available in online and offline mode. And this UPSC Prelims Test Series of pre-storming will be available in all the Shankar IAS Academy's branches. You can register yourself and get the test anywhere. And I strongly recommend you to take this test series as it will be a gateway for your UPSC Mains of 2026. And the topics taken for today's discussion, or the first topic, is about the recent recognition of India's cold desert biosphere reserve, and the second topic is about the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, and the third topic is about the recent dope test failed by an Tamil Nadu athlete, and the fourth test is about the poverty estimation, the new estimated poverty or the estimation of poverty in India, and the fifth topic is about the Prelims Focus, where we discuss about the important current affairs which are very relevant for our UPSC Prelims preparation. This news article from The Hindu is about the India's cold desert biosphere reserve, which got its recent recognition from UNESCO and got enlisted under the World Network of Biosphere Reserve. And what are the key important facts is that the recent recognition of this cold desert biosphere reserve will be found to be located in the regions of Himachal Pradesh, especially to the Lahaul Spiti district, and the area of distribution will be around 7,770 square kilometers with the altitude range of 3,300 to 6,600 meters above mean sea level. And this recent recognition by the UNESCO's World Network of Biosphere Reserve in the year of 2025 will be the 13th site to be recognized from the India, and according to the world data of World Network of Biosphere Reserve maintained by the UNESCO, it has around 785 sites which got distributed around 142 countries, and this will be equivalent to the around 5% of the Earth's surface. And what are the key features of this cold desert biosphere reserve? It got the ecosystem which contains one of the coldest and driest biosphere reserve, and it is very fragile. It will be also having the very fragile high altitude deserts. This extremity of coldness and the dryness will be the primary reason for its category as the categorized as the cold desert, and it also been the primary reason for its recognition under the cold desert biosphere reserve maintained by this UNESCO. And it also contains the various landscape features such as glacial valleys, alpine lakes, windswept plateaus, and high altitude deserts. And moving to the floral species contained in this cold desert biosphere reserve, it has around 732 vascular plant species, with 30 are endemic to that region, that is found to be only in the cold desert biosphere reserve, and 157 near endemic species of flora on Indian Himalayan regions. And what are all the notable floral species found in that cold desert biosphere reserve are willow-leaved sea buckthorn, Himalayan birch, Persian juniper, and other medicinal herbs. So this may be our probable UPSC prelims question. So we need to be very careful about this species of flora with respect to our UPSC preparation. So, and moving to the faunal species of this cold desert biosphere reserve, it has the flagship species as it covers the Himalayan region, the flagship species of Himalaya known as the snow leopard, which has the recognition under the IUCN, which having the IUCN status of vulnerable, and it also has the highest conservation status with respect to the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, that is Schedule 1. And this snow leopard has the importance to our UPSC preparation too, as it is very important. And this snow leopard has the separate conservation program known as the Project Snow Leopard, and this is also to be considered as the ghost of the mountains for its rarity as well as its stealthiness, made it as the ghost of the mountains. And the other faunal species are Himalayan ibex, blue sheep, that is burrels, also known as burrels, and the Himalayan wolf. This Himalayan ibex and blue sheep or burrels is categorized as least concern in the IUCN Red List, and having the highest protection with respect to the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 with respect to India, that is Schedule 1. So we need to be very clear that it got the recognition of least concern with respect to the IUCN Red List, but it got the highest recognition under India for conservation. And the Himalayan wolf will be categorized as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List and having the highest protection with respect to the India Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And the other bird species are Himalayan snowcock and golden eagle. And moving to the human dimension or the population geography of that region, it got the population distribution around 12,000 inhabitants scattered across the villages in that region, which they are primarily living on the basis of livelihood or on the basis of herding of yaks and goats, and they also involved in the farming of barley and tea, and they are also primarily focusing on the traditional medicines with respect to the Himalayan region of Tibetan herbal medicines. And moving to the question section, there is a UPSC Prelims previous year question which was asked in the year of 2012. That is, Government of India encourages the cultivation of sea buckthorn. What is the importance of this plant? First statement, it helps in controlling soil erosion and in preventing desertification. And the second statement, it is a rich source of biodiesel. And the third statement, it has nutritional value and is well adapted to live in cold areas of high altitude. And the fourth statement, its timber is of great commercial value. Which of the statements given above are correct? So in this question they have asked about the correct statement, and with respect to the first statement it was correct because it controls soil erosion and it also prevents the desertification of that area. And the second statement was incorrect because it is not of the potential to use as the biodiesel. And the third statement was very correct because it has the high nutritional value and it is also capable of adapting to the cold regions of high altitudes. So the third statement was correct. So by identifying the first statement and third statement, by coming to the fourth statement, its timber is of great commercial value is incorrect because it is not of high commercial value. So the answer for this question will be fourth statement and first statement was incorrect. Second statement was incorrect. First and third statement was correct. So the answer for this question will be option C, 1 and 3 only. Yes. With this we move to the next topic. This news article is about the rise in complaint rates concerning the child rights to the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, according to the annual report released by the Ministry of Women and Child Development for the year of 2024. And what is this in news? What makes it in news? Because the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, that is NCPCR, has received around 1 lakh complaints between April to December of 2024. And what are the major concerns expressed through their complaints to the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights are related to the poor rehabilitation of the child, as well as the weak child care institutional frameworks, as well as the limited disability support provided to them. And moving to the legal framework associated with the protection of child rights, or the first thing is the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, which got established in the year of 2007 under the Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act of 2005, which is a statutory organization and which ensures the protection of child rights in the Indian environment, and it also functions under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. And moving to the composition of the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, it has a chairman with 6 other members, and these 6 members have the composition of at least 2 members belonging to the women. And moving to the next legal framework, that is the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015. And note that these are all very important for our UPSC preparation. This Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015 provides juvenile justice boards, establishment of juvenile justice boards, and it also has the purview over the Juvenile Justice Act of India and the Child Welfare Committees for the rehabilitation of the child who are affected by various other harassments. And it also covers the process of adoption of children and foster care, and it also uncovers the rehabilitation process associated with the child right violation. And moving to the next is the POCSO Act of 2012, which is also very important for our UPSC preparation, that it full forms contains the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, which is a comprehensive law against child sexual abuse. And this also contains the proper reporting mechanism, which is very friendly for the child to report the sexual offences or the sexual harassment offended to that child. And it also has the purview to investigate the child sexual abuse, as well as it also overviews the trial process associated with the children sexual harassment. And the recent amendment in the year of 2019 with respect to this Prevention of Children from Sexual Harassment Act, which got the amendment, was recently introduced a death penalty for the aggravated cases with respect to the child harassment as well as child sexual abuse. And moving to the next is the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Amendment Act of 2016, which prohibits the employment of children below 14 years in all occupations. So this will be very relevant for our UPSC preparation. And Article 23 and 24 exclusively deals with the right against exploitation, and this is also associated with the right of the children with respect to the employment and exploitation, as it prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 years in all occupations, and it allows work only in family based enterprises within the age of 14 with certain conditions. And it also prohibits the adolescents, that is the age group between 14 to 18, from involving in the occupation related to hazardous environment or the hazardous work practices. Moving to the prelims practice question, the question is: consider the following statement regarding child right protection in India. First statement: the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is a constitutional body with the powers of a civil court. And the second, the POCSO Act of 2012 applies only to children below 14 years of age and was enacted under the Ministry of Law and Justice. Which of the above statements are correct? And in this question, they have asked about the correct statement. With respect to the first statement, it was incorrect, because the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, that is NCPCR, is not a constitutional body, it is a statutory body. So this is incorrect statement. The first statement was incorrect, and the second statement is also incorrect, by acknowledging or by knowing that it is not comes under the POCSO Act is not comes under the Ministry of Law and Justice, it comes under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So the second part is incorrect, and the age group categorization and in this statement is also incorrect, because it contains it applies to the children below the age of 18. So the second statement is also incorrect. They have asked about the correct statement. Both the statements are incorrect, so the answer will be option D. Yes, the answer is option D. With this, we move to the next topic. This news article from The Hindu is about the athlete from Tamil Nadu who once again failed the dope test conducted by the National Anti-Doping Agency. And the drug used by this athlete earlier was known as the metandinone, and this is of very important for our UPSC prelims preparation, that it can be asked in the UPSC prelims that by stating this metandinone is related to which of the following, and it may also be reflected in other government examinations, so kindly note that. And this metandinone is a type of anabolic androgenic steroid which have the possible effects in the athlete's human body, that it increases the muscle mass and the strength of the athlete who are using, and it also helps in boosting the recovery process after the post workout or the post practice session. And this are all the two things that makes this metandinone an illegal drug, as it gives the unfair advantage to the athletes who are using it. And what are the possible risks or the risk factor associated with the usage of this metandinone is the factor that is affected, that it affects the liver damage. It can lead to liver damage, or it can lead to hormonal imbalance, and it also may lead to the heart issues and even the adverse effect of cardiac arrest. And this exposure to this metandinone drug in a long term will also create the psychiatric effect, that the athlete who are using this metandinone will be behaving like an aggressive person and having frequent mood swings of aggression towards anything. And we also have to note about the monitoring agency or the primary agency involved in the testing of this drugs, that is the National Anti-Doping Agency of India, which was established in the year of 2005, and it is an autonomous body functioning under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And the primary function of this anti-doping agency, the National Anti-Doping Agency, is to conduct the doping test of athletes, and it also has the function to create awareness and to educate about the doping and its side effects, and to enforce the rules provided by the World Anti-Doping Agency in India. And it also has to maintain the list of banned substances which was prohibited to be used by the athletes before or after or in the meantime before getting into this field. And what is the legal backing behind this National Anti-Doping Agency is that the National Anti-Doping Act of 2022. This creates the gives the statutory power to the National Anti-Doping Agency, and it also provides the power like it have the provision or the power to search, seizure and the result management related to the test taken from the athletes, and it also establishes a separate board for the oversighting of this doping test. The board is known as the National Board for Anti-Doping in Sports, that is NBDS. So these are all the important points which we need to note from the UPSC prelims point of view. And with respect to the global context, there is another body similar to the National Anti-Doping Agency, that is the World Anti-Doping Agency, having headquarters in Montreal, Canada, and it was founded in the year of 1999 after the Festina cycling scandal. So if you want to know more about this Festina scandal, please Google it. And this has the primary role to create the World Anti-Doping Code, as like similar to the establishment of National Anti-Doping Agency in India. It was also striving to harmonize the World Anti-Doping Code to across the nations. So this is the primary role of this World Anti-Doping Agency, and India is a part of this agency from the beginning. And moving to the prelims practice question, consider the following statement regarding anti-doping in India. First statement, the National Anti-Doping Agency is a statutory body established under National Anti-Doping Act of 2022. And the second statement, the World Anti-Doping Agency is a specialized agency of the United Nations with the headquarters in Geneva. Which of the above statement is correct? And it is a simple question. This is a statutory body as it has been established under the National Anti-Doping Act of 2022, which we discussed earlier. The first statement was correct, and the second statement was incorrect, because it is an World Anti-Doping Agency is a specialized agency, but it was not a part of United Nations. It is an independent institution, so this will not come under the part of United Nations. So this was incorrect, and it was not headquarters in Geneva. It was Montreal, Canada. So this is also incorrect. So the second statement was incorrect. First statement was correct. The answer for this question will be option A, as the question required to identify the correct statement. Option A. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. This news article is about the poverty estimation in India. In recent times, it got shifted or updated from the earlier poverty estimation based on the committee's recommendation known as the Rangarajan committee, and it got recently updated or shifted to align it with the recent household consumption expenditure survey taken during the year of 2022 to 23. And what makes it in news that the RBI economist has recently updated the Rangarajan committee's poverty line was provided earlier in the data year of 2014, which got recently shifted and make it aligned to the updation of household consumption expenditure survey taken in the year of 2022 to 23. And what are the basic findings from this poverty estimation and the household consumption expenditure survey is that Odisha and Bihar shows a sharpest poverty decline or reduction with around 40 percentage average points, and the rural poverty in Odisha also dwindled in a significant number from 47.8 percentage in the year of 2011 to 12 to 8.6 percentage in the year of 2022 to 23, which shows a significant reduction in the poverty level. And the urban poverty in Bihar also fell from around 50 percentage to 9 percentage, which also shows a sharp reduction in the poverty on that region. And some states like Kerala and Himachal also shows a slight difference or a decline in the poverty level, but they have been also recognized as the low poverty level groups. These states are also always prevails on the low poverty level category, as these states are considered to be one of the most developed states in the Indian states according to the Indian states. And India's poverty estimation at the current times debates over the income based poverty lines or the estimation through the multidimensional based on the multidimensional poverty, which contains various indicators such as health, education and living standards. And with respect to the poverty estimation in India, there are various committees involved in the process of estimation of poverty in India. The first committee we are going to discuss is the Lakdawala committee, which was established in the year of 1993, which submits its report on the year of 1993 based on the calorific intake. This committee submits or estimated poverty based on the calorific intake of the people, and estimated calorific intake needs to be in the rural area with around 2400 calories, and with respect to urban it was 2100 calories. And the second committee is the Tendulkar committee on 2009, which shifted from the earlier consumption based of calorific intake. It shifted to the consumption expenditure. Based on the consumption expenditure of the population, the poverty needs to be estimated under this committee, and it also broadens the need of the estimation of poverty. It also adds dimensions such as education and health. And moving to the next is the Rangarajan committee of 2014, which raised the poverty line, and it also provides the very relevant poverty estimation into the mere reality level. And its estimation of poverty in India with respect to the rural area is around 972 rupees per person in India is to be considered under the poverty level, and with 1407 rupees for the urban areas of monthly expenditure. And the Rangarajan committee's estimation within the year of 2011 to 12 shows around 29.5 percentage will be considered as Indian poor. And there is another committee known as YK Alag Committee, which is also very important, that it is the first one of its first committee for the estimation of poverty in India. And what is the need for this adjustment or updation in the poverty estimation? That the household consumption expenditure survey of 2022 to 2023 released after a decade gap. That is, it got a significant gap of 10 years for the releasing of its household consumption expenditure, which will be helpful for the estimation of poverty, as it is very relevant for the estimated date was very relevant to the near year. So it will be very helpful for the estimation. And the consumer price index, that is CPI, was not accurate because the poverty line baskets is different. That the consumer price index with respect to the earlier estimation of poverty was not relevant, and it is not aligned with the poverty line baskets of current year. So it is showing a stark difference in the rise in price level. So this will not be aligned. So the household consumption expenditure survey will be the viable tool for the estimation of poverty at the current times. And the RBI economist also build a new index with this poverty line baskets, that is PLB, based on the weights giving updates to the poverty lines. Moving to the mains practice question, the question is, in today's India, should poverty measurement focus on income consumption based poverty line or multidimensional indicators? Critically discuss. So we need to be very clear about the poverty estimation committees by introducing our answer with the earlier poverty estimation committees, and we also has to address the poverty measurement programs, and the focus over the income consumption based poverty lines is viable, or multidimensional poverty based factors or indicators poverty estimation is viable. So we need to be very clearly elucidate about the income consumption based and the multidimensional poverty consumption based on various indicators will be viable, and it also needs to be addressed in a striking balanced manner, and also the challenges involved and the way forwards. So this will be the structure for this question. Please take this question and answer it in the comment section given below. We will evaluate and give the feedback in the comment section itself. With this, we move to the next topic. Coming to the prelims focus, the first topic is about the personality news. The personality is Rani Rashmoni. Recently, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi had paid tribute to Rani Rashmoni on her birth anniversary. Who is she? She is a social worker, visionary leader, and the philanthropist who born on 28th September 1793 in Bengal, Kolkata at that time. And what are the major contributions done by Rani Rashmoni to the Indian society? That she constantly and ardently supports the upliftment of poor people, and she also founded the Dakshinashwar Kali temple, and we need to note that she also appointed Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as the chief priest of the temple, even though there is an caste opposition at that time, and she also established a new bathing gut called as Babu Gut in Hooghly River. And the other things we need to note that she is an ardent advocacy over the widow remarriage, and she also opposes the practice of polygamy as well as the child marriage. And she also submitted a draft bill to the British government regarding the prohibition of polygamy at that time. And she also have the provided with the revered title known as Lokmata, that is the mother of people. So these are all the important things that we need to know about Rani Rashmoni from the UPSC Prelims point of view. And the next topic is about the inclusion of 2 more new Ramsar sites from India. India continues to hold the top position in Asia, that it holds more number of Ramsar sites with respect to the Asian region, and it also ranks 3rd globally after the position of first position was holding by UK around 176 Ramsar sites, and the Mexico having 144 Ramsar sites in terms of total number of Ramsar sites within the region. And we need to note that Bolivia is the country which has the large tracts of land under the Ramsar sites. So the two more additional Ramsar sites that was recently included in the Ramsar site list was Gokul Jalshai, which is an oxbow lake on the verge of Ganga river at the Buxar district, and the Udaipur Jheel is the second Ramsar site from India to be listed or to placed in the Ramsar site recently. It was found in the Western Chambram district, and this Udaipur Jheel was surrounded by the Udaipur Wildlife Sanctuary in Bihar. And with this inclusion of these two more Ramsar sites, India has around 93 Ramsar sites at present. So with respect to the Ramsar site, it was initially adopted in the year of 1971 and came into existence in the year of 1975, and it is an intergovernmental agreement under the UNESCO. So these are all the important things we need to know about the Ramsar sites and the basics about Ramsar, and India is a part of this or ratified the Ramsar Convention in the year of 1982, and we also have to note about the Montrex record. So these are all the related terms with respect to the Ramsar site and wetland conservation. And coming to the third topic is the SODAR, sound detection and ranging. This is a new technology, and likewise there is another technology we also have to came across earlier, that is the sonar. Sonar is related to the detection using the same sound, but it was majorly focusing over the marine environment or aquatic environment, but this SODAR is related to the detection of the sound and ranging through the air. And this SODAR technology was to be created cooperatively between the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research and Advanced Material Processes and Research Institute and the Indian Meteorological Department. What is this SODAR system is of? It is an ground-based remote sensing instrument. It is likewise the instrument that was used in underwater, but it was used on the land for the detection of vertical profile of wind. That is, if the graph is like that, it was like calculating the vertical profile of the wind like that, and the turbulence data from the near ground up to several hundreds of meters. So it is a ground based technology which used to detect the profile, vertical profile of wind as well as the turbulence associated with the wind movement. And it was jointly developed and designed by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research and Advanced Materials and Processes Research Institute of Bhopal. And it was recently inaugurated at the Indian Meteorological Department, as it is cooperating agency that monitors the process and as well as the helping the developmental process. And the primary aim of this technology to be developed is to enhance the collaborative research on scientific and societal challenges related to weather, climate variability and forecasting. As India is under various climate related activities and the weather related activities, it will be very helpful for the India in the future development process. And this is the very important thing that we need to note from the UPSC point of view, that there may be possibility of asking questions regarding the application of this SODAR system with respect to the Indian environment, that it can be applied on the detection of atmospheric dispersion studies, and it also helps in the establishment of various windmills with related to wind energy sighting and wind shear warning. And the sound transmission analysis also has to be conducted under this technology, and the microwave communication assessment will also be done, and the aircraft vortex monitoring is the primary technology that we need at the present time for efficient use of our aircrafts in our Indian environment. So these are all the applications associated with this SODAR technology. These are all very important for our UPSC prelims preparation. So please note this for our UPSC preparation. And there is a previous year question which was asked in the year of 2019 prelims. The question is, consider the following statement: under Ramsar Convention, it is mandatory on the part of Government of India to protect and conserve all the wetlands in territory of India. And the second statement, the Wetland Conservation and Management Rules of 2010 were framed by the Government of India based on the recommendation of Ramsar Convention. And the third statement, the Wetland Conservation and Management Rules of 2010 also encompasses the drainage area or catchment regions of the wetlands as determined by the authority. Which of the statements given above is are correct? And in this question they have asked about the correct statement, and with respect to the first statement and second statement, it was incorrect, as we can easily interpret from the second statement that, sorry, first statement, we can easily interpret that the first statement was an incorrect statement because it involves the term of vague term or the deceptive term known as the mandatory. It is not mandatory under the Ramsar convention, so the first statement was incorrect. So we can eliminate the first statement from the option, and we have left with the only two options, either 2 and 3 or 3 only. With respect to the second statement, it is also incorrect that the wetlands conservation management rules of 2010 were framed by the government of India based on the recommendations of Ramsar convention is incorrect, because the Ramsar convention is not a mandatory, so it doesn't recommend the government of India regarding the wetland conservation. So the second statement is also an incorrect statement. So the answer for this question will be option C, 3 only. Yes. With this, we came to the conclusion of this video. Hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below, and share the video to your friends, and kindly subscribe to the Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon for receiving on-time notification. Thank you for watching us. Have a good day.